He's fun. Okay, no, seriously, why does everyone play Wesker? Sure, he's fun to play, but I mean, there's a lot of killers that are unanimously loved by the community to play as. What exactly motivates countless killer players to don the trenchcoat and sunglasses and ensure
complete global saturation?
Well, let's start from the beginning. Resident Evil is easily the biggest horror-centric series in all of gaming. The first chapter we received in Dead by Daylight with Nemesis was a massive success. It was almost a sequel to the addition of Stranger Things in terms of the sheer amount of new people that started playing. I think the characters chosen were great picks, but it was clear from the start that so much more could be done with the Resident Evil license. So, Behavior did the previously unthinkable and did Resident Evil again. This time, adding easily its most iconic villain, the mastermind himself, Albert Wesker. While some might have been surprised that he wasn't in the first chapter, I think it made more sense to choose Nemesis. Sure, Wesker is very iconic and is the main antagonist of multiple games in the series, but a big part of what makes Resident Evil is its threatening bioweapons, which while Wesker technically fits the bill, he mostly just looks like Neo with a tentacle. That doesn't stop the sheer fame he has, though. While not as universally famous to the general public as Freddy Krueger or Michael Myers, horror fans know who Albert Wesker is. Upon initial PTB, Wesker's reception was already near perfect, with his only real difference between then and now was his hitbox size being changed. What made this reception perfect? Well, I'd say the most contributing factor is, he's fun. Alright, what do Wesker, Huntress, and Blight have in common? Not only are they the top 3 played killers, but they have some of the highest skill ceilings in the entire game, while also being relatively easy to pick up for new players. Wesker has a very simple power on paper. You dash forward really fast, you throw survivors into walls, that's all there is to it. It's very easy to understand, but there is so much more for a player to absorb while learning to play as him. There's predicting the survivor's next move, there's finding a place where you can slam or throw the survivor into, there's knowing how the infection works, there's being aware of how your hitboxes work, and so much more. Wesker is a very deep killer, but if all you want to do is sit down and Wesk away, you really don't have to think about it too much. He's got a little bit of everything for everybody. He has built-in tracking with the sprays, he's got amazing anti-loop with his dash, not to mention that his dash also doubles his map traversal. What also helps, and that he also has in common with Blight and Huntress, is that he's quite the strong killer. Most tier lists place him around the A tier, which explains things pretty well. Winning is fun, and that obviously contributes to his pick rate. Look at pre-nerf Freddy, for example. The majority of the community agrees that he's incredibly dull to play as, but when the Forever Freddy playstyle was an option, he was considerably more popular, despite his gameplay being the exact same as it is currently. Secondly, despite his seemingly simple abilities, Wesker has a lot of quirks that make him stand out and therefore make him even more appealing for so many players. His most obvious, of course, being that he has the biggest terror radius in the entire game. This makes it so not only are perks that only apply within the terror radius the best on him, this also makes it so that perks that take away his terror radius are also the best on him. If you want to use Starstruck to easily inflict exposed, Wesker is objectively the best killer to do it with. If you want to slow down healing with Colorophobia, Wesker is your friend. If you want to run order reading perks, his power allows for incredible map traversal as well, allowing you to quickly catch up to the revealed survivor. His ability to vault as well not only leads to more interesting mind games, but also leads to incredible synergy with Bamboozle. Not to mention, he has built-in slowdown as well, which leads to less pressure to use gen regression perks, which lets players feel more comfortable using more interesting perks. Last but not least is, honestly, his fluff. And by fluff, I mean...
Too bad you won't make it much further. 7 minutes is all I can spare to play with you. Do you actually think you could defeat me?
These voice lines may seem small, but it honestly greatly contributes to how much fun it can be. Not only are you throwing survivors like frisbees, but you're getting to do it while you mock them with goofy one-liners. Wesker's voice acting is really enjoyable. Not to mention his sound design, the sliminess of the tentacle, the crunch of a survivor slamming into a wall, his determined anger as he dashes. It balances perfectly between cheesy and funny to kinda badass. So, why does everyone play Wesker? Well, I think that it's truly just that he's got the most going for him. Map control, anti-loop, tracking, unique perk synergies, funny voice lines, he's got it all. There does seem to be one small issue surrounding Wesker though. Survivors kinda don't like going against him that much. And it has nothing to do with his kit. People like variety. It's the spice of life after all. So, as fun as Wesker may be, people are getting kinda sick of him. It's unfortunate, but it's not like it's his fault. The killer is fun, so people want to play as him. It's not rocket science. Anyways, that's why I believe Wesker has the highest pick rate out of every killer. I definitely prefer more balance in killer pick rates, but really, the only way to do that is by making every other killer as fun as Wesker. And while that's not impossible, that is a tall order that can't just change overnight. Here's to hoping that change comes though. Happy Halloween, everyone.